Hello, hello, hello. Coffee took a little bit longer again. How is everyone? Welcome, Sophie. Sour? It's savory, I guess. Savory? It's also very sour. Maybe that's how it should be. Maybe after 20 stream streak or something like that, I figured maybe out how to pronounce your name. Learning shaders, nice. Let me quickly turn down the music a little bit. With GLSL, HLSL, or slang, or not shader specific, but just like trying around how shaders in general work. Okay, cool. Yeah, Godot is on the list of things I want to try as a reference. Not like that I want to do something in Godot. But I mean, I did some stuff in Unity, I did some testing in Unity, in Unreal as well, because the plugin initially was for Unreal, for the volumetric stuff. And I would want to give Godot at least a spin to see how they do certain things. Maybe get inspired and change something in my engine. Yeah, I mean, I've been there, I'm still there. I wouldn't say that I'm super proficient with shaders yet. Still have problems from time to time with like all the transformations, like screen space, clip space, and then how to get like the depth value from a like a fragment and stuff like that. It's as well not intuitive to me yet. But at least I think compute shaders I am quite okay with now. I think I find myself around compute shaders and understand them quite well. It's just the whole fragment vertex stuff that's still a little bit confusing. Alright, so this morning I finished off one small additional refactor because I guess we are never done with that. Previously assets. So let's go to game core, I guess. Well, scene probably. Scene? Yeah, scene. Why not scene? It has a render graph, and previously that was a reference, a raw reference to it. Now we have an asset handle, which is basically just a wrapper around an asset ID and a reference. Before that, the asset itself stored the asset ID. But the problem that I had with that, my problem, yeah, I mean kinda. The problem that I had with that is setting the ID of an asset would basically mean that you would have to invalidate the whole reference, the whole asset. So that was a bit problematic. So what instead you do now is on the asset handle you have a function called set ID. I mean, maybe name it different, but yeah, basically set ID. And if the ID is not the same as before, we set the ID and we clear the handle. And basically anyone that has, well, this asset handle then points no longer to that asset. Yeah. And then your system needs to verify, like, see, oh, I got a new asset, I need to do some stuff. So for example, where do we do that already? I think game core actually is probably kind of the best example currently for that. So if we have an asset ID for the render graph, then we check if we are loaded. And if we are not initialized, then we initialize our scene graph. Otherwise, well, that's actually not the point that I wanted to do, I think. Well, I mean, in this case it kind of works, but it's basically something along those lines. Basically, you need to verify that you loaded. And you need to load if you didn't. And all of that works. Again, still. So now with that in place, the code generator becomes a little easier. Yeah, I am using the STD quite a lot for like the base things like STD vector, a little bit of STD array in some places, but I do have a custom one as well for that. But some places I think I use STD array. I'm not quite sure why though, but yeah. Yeah, and other stuff from the STD. Mostly because the STD array is heap allocated and mine is can be stack allocated. So that one is the in-place array, it's basically stack allocated. Actually, it's no longer stack allocated. Maybe. Never mind. Oh no. Wait. Yeah, no wait, why did I do that? Let me think again. I was to have a wrapper around, I think, what this allows to do, and I'm not sure if STD array does that, but to be honest, I think I changed this later to STD array when this class already existed. It's quite old, this class. But what that allows me to do is create an in-place array of size 5. I mean, maybe array has that. And then I can add to it, and it grows in size, but it only grows to the max size, right? So it's still only to this size, but basically I get the length of it, and if I only push one element in it, the size returns 1 instead of 5. But I'm not sure, maybe STD array has that interface anyways. To be honest, I've not looked too much into STD array. But I would assume that the size always returns the size of... Oh, okay, no, maybe not. Okay, maybe we could completely change to STD array. Never mind. Yeah, I think in-place array could, in that case, be completely replaced. I think I added that before... Actually, no idea. No, maybe I just didn't know that it has that. Well, I mean, it definitely doesn't have the add, right? So that's one thing. My wrapper had like a add function, but which basically adds at the next free index, and this one doesn't really have that. I mean, I guess you could do it with a range or something like that. Range algorithm maybe. Like an insert or something like that. So I guess that's the biggest difference now that I have this in place and add. I guess. That's probably just it. So actually it doesn't make a whole lot of sense to have this, I guess. Might be... Actually, I will put a comment. Now that you said that, now that we encountered that, to do... Can be fully replaced. So in C++ 26 something comes that probably completely replaces it. Which is the in-place vector. Which is basically what I tried to do here. So if you don't know what in-place vector is, it's basically a stack allocated STD vector that cannot grow, I think. But it grows to a max size as far as I know. Yeah. So that's basically what I would have wanted from my in-place array. That is basically a simplified version of this. I would have, I mean, I guess they are kind of stuck with the name vector, but I would have loved it that they named it something different, but I guess it's too late for C++ to rename the vector to something that's actually more sensible. Anyways, but yeah, I am using it quite a lot, the STD, I would say. And in most of the cases, it's fine. It's not as bad anymore as people make it out to be, or yeah, in the past it was quite bad, but since I think it's like C++ 11 onwards, it's pretty decent. I mean, there's still stuff that you shouldn't use because it's slow or badly implemented, but then again, if you're not doing like high performant AAA game, whatever, then you will not notice it. And even then, I'm currently working at work with a company with their proprietary engine, and they use quite a lot of STD as well. They have just a couple of containers that they built themselves, like a better map, because unordered map is a little bit slow. Or yeah, it's like unordered map is built in a way that it can do everything for you, right? Because I mean, C++ has to provide a lot of people with like the solutions in the standard need to fill a lot of places basically. So there are optimizations that you can do for an unordered map like type that performs a little bit better in other contexts, or specific contexts, let's put it that way. Anyways, all right, so I wanted to go back here, and then maybe I should have. No, I mean, we will still try it from here, and then we go back to Linux probably tomorrow. Do I stream tomorrow? Not sure. We will find out if I stream tomorrow, I guess. So I think I want to have it like that. That should generate, hopefully. And should hopefully generate this new. And then I'm not sure if I need already more or not. Let's see. Ooh, holy. Coffee is not kicking in yet. So, did that regenerate? Not yet. I'm wondering when this actually rebirths. I mean, by now it should have done it already, but maybe not. Okay, so that didn't do anything. Oh, well, I should have brought break. It set a breakpoint there. Why did it not? Why does it not rebuild that? Did I again do something stupid with the CMake? Because shouldn't you? Why does it keep? Okay, now I'm a little bit sussed out. It's the second time that I changed this. So there is something wrong probably with the... There is something wrong with the CPM maybe. Hmm. Very weird. So, but now, well, now I can test it. Because it probably will rebuild everything. But that's, yeah, that's weird, but okay. Let's see. Oh wait, maybe that doesn't even generate correctly. Now let's see. I don't know when I did the last clean build of the code generator, if I put it in the right out directory or not. Well. Oh, that didn't work, or what? Oh no, it is here. Okay, why did you not include... Questionable. This should have been like that. And it should have included... Although maybe that's not in the code generator yet. Let's see. Maybe I didn't build that yet. Okay, yeah. Perfect. Does that build? That actually builds. And then the other question is name component. Inspector. That should be an asset ID here. Why is... What? Create transmittance. Wait a second. Create transmittance render graph node. Is that not a compute pass? That's the wrong shaders, never mind. Create transmittance. Now that is a vertex fragment, okay. But maybe it's not loaded yet? Okay, no, it is loaded. Hmm. Could it be that... Yeah, let's see, begin frame. Maybe if the whole no... I think I know what it is. Okay. Hello, Captain Chica. Hello, what's up? I think that's too risky. That crashes quite a lot. Jesus. Okay. Guess I have to fix that. Investigation of what? The God damn it, my mind. The validation error for the swap chain is fixed, yeah. We are in the finishing touches. Yeah, that is fixed. I can show you in a second what it was. Let me first try to think about how to handle that thing. So the render graph fixed node inherits as well from render graph shader node. I think what would make sense is bool m has begun frame. And then here and begin frame. Okay, maybe not. Hold on. How do I solve that? That the shader finishes loading during the frame. Because I probably checked that, yeah, is enabled here. Oh, actually, in that case, yeah, okay. In that case, we can do it here. Okay, so we can do it here. Bool m has begun frame. And then every shutdown, every end frame. Every end frame will clear that. And then we have an is enabled somewhere. Oh wait, that doesn't work. Okay, never mind, that doesn't work. That would be self lockout basically. Maybe I just do it on the render graph level then. Maybe I have dynamic array of local node ID frame nodes. And then on begin frame, we do that. And then m current frame node order remove or erase. But we would need the ID. Is there a better way to do that? I mean, probably, but well, it needs to be before they continue anyways, but maybe. Oh, I know what. I know what we do. So we do that and then has begun frame. Or is no, maybe has begun frame is fine, I guess. Maybe an is active. Nah, that is all a little bit too weird. Maybe is enabled and we rename that one. Hold on, maybe that's better. Is enabled and is now what's the difference between enabled and active would be the weird question. I think I want a better name, but for now has begun frame. To find better names for this, for both. It's basically that, but it's a little ugly, not gonna lie. I guess has begun frame. Render graph shader node. I guess I can do that here. Bool m has begun frame. And then this works basically. Begin frame. No, not this one. Here-ish. Somewhere here. And then it works with that approach. So I think that should now hopefully fix the issue with the shader loading mid-frame causing crashes. That's when you load your assets async. Then mid-frame suddenly your shader appears. Yeah. Well, I mean, we only tried it once, but I think that should fix it. Looks fine, I guess. Actually, that's not what I wanted to test. This was just a random fix. Wait, that still happens? Well, oh, that's in the ImGUI system, which does not use the render graph, right? So I think it's a similar issue. Similar issue. Hello, Ribbonman. Similar issue in the sense that probably we didn't... What did we not do in this case? Oh wait, is that... Why is that shader like that? I don't think you should be a shader like that. Oh, okay, wait, that's fine. But in here it's an asset, yeah. And then it's valid. M shader is valid. M shader is loaded. Okay, that should be fine. Never mind. So, what is the problem then? We go down here. Because all the command buffer stuff should be there. I could only think that maybe... No, actually, I'm not quite sure what that ImGUI crash is about. But let's see. Oh, that doesn't work anymore. Oh, we have a... Oh, yes, I can remember. That's the transform. How do I want to solve that? Transform component. Or transform component. This one. Runtime only. I mean, maybe... Maybe we do that? Does that work? Is that... Will that break? Will that break my parser? Yes, we will find out. I guess it did break it. Oh, what? I mean, I guess it... horribly broke something. Although I'm not sure why. It breaks in weird places. Oh, because I, of course, still didn't do the code chain correctly. Never mind. So we do that. Now it fits. And then I would want to know. Okay, I mean, maybe that worked actually. Okay, that actually worked. Oof, that works as well. Nice. So I have code generator for S selected. Well, that's not too uncommon, I would say, but a material often is nothing else. Because all my materials are shaders as well, basically. Okay, that kind of works. Nice. Perfect, I guess. Do I need anything else? Or was that already the correct asset type? Yeah, that looks fine. And I can set it. Perfect. The only question is, would that save? But I don't know yet. I can't test that really with this setup currently. That's weird. While in this case, I guess it makes sense it is. Yeah. It's a little bit of a special case. You would never have this on this component anyways, but yeah. Okay. I guess... Was there anything else I needed to do on the code gen side? I think actually not. Because that's actually mostly it, and it just works out of the box. Sometimes it's amazing how stuff works actually. Just suddenly without you. I think there was one other thing. I wanted to be sure that my attributes are correct. Because I don't think I am currently doing all of them. Especially like the editor only, I think I'm not currently handling. Or the build type, which I think would be quite nice as well to handle. So let's try that. Let's add that and then we are basically done. So the build and editor only would have to be in the CPP In the header, sorry. Here. For each type, exactly. Do I want to sort them, maybe? Maybe. But how would I nicely sort them? I guess debug only fields. Where field has or get attribute, I guess. Or maybe I do a helper for that. Maybe. Otherwise, yes, we have like an all or something like that. Where field dot build or field dot build type. Sorry, has to be like that. Release build only. Read there. Then var fields. I don't know what to say. Thank you for the follow, Gabriel GS. Thank you for the follow. How do I want the remaining fields? I don't know. Well, we have the editor only fields as well. Where field has attribute editor only. The question is, can this overlap? I mean, probably they can overlap. Technically, that could overlap. or build type beards. Where except everything except in that list. It's not union, but it's... I mean, accept would be nice, but can I not do an accept of a list? Sad. The difference would be release still has profiling and a search in there. So release is very close to retail. The only difference is you still have logging, you still have a search, you still have potentially profiling in there, but you don't have debug only stuff like string IDs, for example, I think are gone. Like the string versions of string IDs are gone. So it's a little bit less than debug, but still, yes, release is still a private thing, yeah. It's quite common. It's a bad name, but it's quite common to have that. Yeah. I guess I could do this. Or can I? No, that doesn't work. I mean, I guess I could do except. That's like super ugly. Then the question is, how do I generate that? Because I mean, I could naively generate it, that's fine. I could do it per attribute. I mean, maybe I do that for now and we clean that up later. And it's a generated file, so who will actually look into that? Maybe I just don't do that. Yeah, it's fine, I guess. I will put a comment here instead. Group fields based on their build type / editor available. Editor only. But for now we just do it. So basically if the field has the attribute editor only, I mean, I guess we could at least filter the editor only build attributes. Nah, it's fine. It doesn't really matter. Then we basically add append skip intent false. Is editor only. Well, I guess we could have that here. Wait, that's the component. Ah, that's fine as well, I guess. We can have it here as well, but I wanted to go here actually. Yeah, okay. So if we are editor only, we add this. And now at the end, we do an is editor only again. And if like that, and then if build type if that is not all, then we generate the build type basically. Build can I do a toString of the build type? Hmm. I mean, I guess we could do it here, right? Get build type defined, switch based on the type. In that case, probably I want to get the build type pool. Where? Guess that can be another pointer, right? So if we have a build attribute, we say build attribute get build type define. And then at the end here, again, if that's the case, then we do the end if. I placed when I call the render graph nodes at the big, like at the pre-render. So I have like begin frame, end frame. Those are called for all nodes, of course, at the begin and end of the frame, and then each node gets a render call in order, of course, of the graph. And that render call has a pre and post render, and the pre-render basically sets the barriers. It's here, render graph task, which should be already renamed by now, but whatever. Here, pre-render. And then I go through my input pins or input attachments or input inputs to the node basically, and I transition them. And then I go through the outputs and transition them as well, because I need to transition them to read or write, or like to write basically. Yeah. But to be honest, it doesn't work 100% yet. So I need to go back there because I have some validation errors with this. Because I think it doesn't work if it's I think we are not, either we are not calling it or it's wrong for compute shaders, which, yeah, I still need to figure out what to do there. It's basically that. It's just that my engine is fully based on node graphs, right? So it's this. In the pin is just a wrapper around basically a buffer or a render target. Does this actually work? Yeah. So those are pins, but in reality down there, like in the core, it's so for example, composite node, right? Did I choose exactly the one that's the worst? Probably. God damn it. Bone map? Yeah. So we have texture handle, right? As input output. It's just that everything is basically an acyclic graph, so, and that those are done with pins. But basically it's what you say. It's just input buffers, input images. It's mostly that it fits this beautiful UI, that it's wrapped with pins. But yeah. Yeah, you use it as well for shaders. So if I open it again, maybe I should fix that by now. So shader graph. Actually a good test because I changed quite a lot today. So let's see if that still works. Probably not, but let's see. Try blind now. Okay, no, it still kinda works. Interesting, I have a shader compile error. Anyways, so yeah, that's the shader graph. What is that actually? Why does it say float here? Is it the scale? Okay, I have some issues with my rendering of the nodes, it seems like. Some of the nodes do not work. I think there should be an icon in here, and it's currently not. But yeah, the engine basically has shader graphs, render graphs. So render graph is the graphics a pipeline basically. Shader graphs is materials, and anything higher level like GPU particles would be in there, and volume shader graphs. Volume shader graphs are specific for the volume terrain, right? And then there will be a gameplay version of those graphs as well, where you can basically build your gameplay with it, similar to blueprints. That's the plan. I mean, you can still do it in C++, of course. I will never take that away. But for scripting and for people that are not so familiar with programming, I think it would be nice to have that possibility. And in theory, all my nodes, I could implement that they can be nativized actually into C++. But I'm not sure if I do that. What's with my... whatever. Alright. So I think I have everything working again. What was the last thing I did? Oh yeah, the asset handle? No. No, in the code generator I did something, right? Yeah, with the build type. It's so funny that you ask that. A friend of mine, he's not really into game coding, but he's a programmer as well. And he knows that I'm working on an engine, and he was like, yeah, you have to create a documentation that is understandable by the language models so that people can use language models to build stuff with your engine. And I'm like, yeah, I have better things to do than that. Thank you for the follow, Hans. So hi. Welcome, welcome. I have better things with my time to do than trying to write the documentation that's readable for the AI. Maybe I should first write an documentation at all. Which gets pushed always back. Nah, he's a good friend, but he's very convinced of the AI, let's put it that way. I just don't see it yet. Or every time I use it, I mean, it's not bad, right? I use it from time to time for like bouncing off ideas, but you have to understand that what it gives you is biased, and it will always tell you your idea is the greatest. Nice engine from the hundreds of engines that I saw. This one is really, thank you. I mean, it's not really far yet, but I'm trying to make it good. Diataxis. No, I have no idea. Can I Google that? Probably, right? No, I have never heard of that. I will bookmark that. I will read it later. Because it's for sure something that could be interesting to read. Thank you. Do I have permission to wipe document codebase? I did that already to some extent, but it's so hard to give the context that it needs. But I mean, sure, go ahead if you want to. Well, I mean, there is as well was as well the Hazel engine, which I think is not too bad. I mean, I have a lot of small issues with it that I would find quite annoying, but overall, the Hazel engine is further than mine, right? You can do actual games with it and stuff like that. Anyways, am I done here with that? Well, we would need to test it, I guess. But I think that should work. Well, we need the... No, sorry. We need the... to guard those editor fields and stuff like that in the other parts as well. So... I need to... Here... the right. Serializer cores. Why did I do it like that? No, I don't know Tokyo Spliff. No, don't do that. That sounds expensive. Don't do that, Captain Chica. No, I don't know Tokyo Spliff. And yeah, I mean, I agree. Game engine should be more reusable. That's why I'm still stuck doing that, right? Because yeah, it takes time. Why? But I kinda care, to be honest. I mean, I would. Yeah, I don't know. I kinda care. God damn it. They don't have any money left. I guess I do that. So we basically filter out all our runtime only fields. Now we basically generate based on that. Well, if we have only one. God damn it, 120? No, right? Is it that low already? See? It's going up. It's going to the moon. See? Just don't click anywhere here. Just don't click 1 month, 6 months, or yearly. Don't do that. See? Just look at the 5 days. It looks very good. Don't do this. Or that. Just keep it with the 5 days. 1 day, 1 month actually looks okay as well. I mean, we are only in the range of like €1, but hey, we take it. Just don't look at that one. Probably people thought it can't go down anymore. And then they bought. And said like, now is the time. They are on the ground. Can't get worse than that. And then guess what? Well, so that is... Okay, if it's 1, do I care that it's 1? I mean, kinda I do, maybe. So, serialize... Or fields to serialize, let's call it that way. Fields to serialize. First, if field is editor only. Code generator append. Basically that. I'm wondering if there is maybe a... I mean, there probably is a better way to do that, but whatever. I bet there is a better way to do it. Yeah, I thought about that. But then I would need to wrap it somehow, because they're using a scope specific, right? Because it's always a using block that's like a scope. And then I would need to duplicate this line. Well, unless... Hold on, maybe you're onto something. Maybe have a using which introduces... Actually, let me think. So if it's not true, we introduce like basically an empty scope that doesn't do anything. Maybe. We could try that. Let's see. I would probably for that would go here and then using... Well, I think I still would want to do it per type here. And then here what we would do is using... Well, first we have the field here. And then using code generator, enter scope, enter conditioner. Something like that, maybe. And then that would be field dot where that would be this part here. Hold on. Why is that not working? Should be this. Okay. All right. Maybe. Just need to add that now. And currently it's... Do I not have? Well, I guess I don't have that. Enter conditioner scope. And then if condition, we return that. Else we basically don't do that. Wait. Oh yeah, okay. And we basically need to do a new public code scope. Or actually, yeah, I need to do that as well, but that is a minor thing. I mean, they don't. It doesn't matter if they are indented or not in theory, but I usually don't do that, so they basically are at the start. But there is other stuff that's a little bit more problematic right now, which is this one. So I guess where now that sucks. That would work. I could add another generator here that takes as well an increment. So basically that one would be 0. Where? In the case where we don't do it, right? And I guess we don't even append anything in this case. Wait, in that case... Actually, that's a no op then. Let's do it like that. You use custom allocator everywhere? No, I don't. Currently. Is that not how it's done, or is it like that? Fix with Copilot, yes please. I thought that would be it, but maybe not. Well, that one is like that. I guess we could do if generator. And we return. And then it's basically already guarded. And then the only missing piece is that we don't want to append potentially. So we do maybe a bool indent scope strings. Or maybe, yeah, no, that's fine. No dynamic memory allocations. No where yes and no, I would say. There are some engines that do dynamic allocations, there are some that don't. Some so some use like pools or something like that, for example, pool allocators or something like that. Where you have a memory budget, but usually there is like some sort of still like dynamic allocation, and you just try to try to measure all the dynamic allocated memory and stay within like bounds that you define, but usually that's how it's done and not necessarily in the sense of actually preventing dynamic allocations. Most of the engines I worked with, you could dynamically allocate without any issues. If that was the question you're trying to ask, I'm not quite sure. Oh, wait. Yeah, and then here, bool, skip indent. Okay, so that would be that. And then if build type is not all, if build attribute is not null and build attribute is type is not all. Yeah, but that's not really how it most of the time happens, to be honest. It's rare that bigger engines do that, to be honest. Because it makes it really complicated. It works for smaller games that you do that. But usually you just allocate what you need and you always you have your own allocator, right? So you track every allocation and then you have debug views to look how much you allocated and you give each category like a budget and you try to stay within that budget, but you don't block dynamic allocations. You're allowed to go over budget at the end of the life. The closer you are to release, the more people will look at the budgets and will tell you, hey, animation takes too much of the budget, go down in and do that and that and that to reduce the budget memory, the memory in the budget. I have not worked in any engine where we had fixed allocations yet. There is, of course, lower levels where that happens a little bit to some extent. So, for example, for rendering, it might be the case that you have fixed buffers and fixed allocations. But for higher level, gameplay and higher level things, as I said, sound, assets and stuff like that, and animation and whatnot, it usually is you allocate and then you have debug tools that help you measure the resources and then you go there. Yeah, that is, as I said, it works for smaller games and it's an interesting approach, but it doesn't scale and it's really yeah, then you have those issues that Cakes has from time to time. Is that not how it's... Is it like that? So why does that work? But whatever. So it's basically that, and then here, yeah, I do the first one as well like that. So maybe I do... Oh, that doesn't really work very well. Maybe I'll leave the build type for now. I will add that later. It doesn't really work that nicely with the code generator yet. It's a good idea, and I think I will keep the conditioner scope and stuff like that. I will actually comment that out, because that's quite nice to have, but I think it's too much for now. We will add that with 0.6 with the editor improvements, because it's basically an editor improvement. It's basically an editor improvement. Let's comment that one out. Well, I guess we could do it here. The scoped one at least. So let's do it here. So use, basically what we said is using code generator, conditioner scope, whatever I just pressed. Field is editor only, and then it would be this. And if and true. And we just tested quickly if that works, but it would need to trickle down here, and I think I need to refactor that logic a little bit, that it makes more sense and is more readable, because otherwise it's just a mess. So let's see if that builds. Okay, and then let's add one of those conditioner ones. So let's go to... which one would be actually a good candidate for editor only? Probably actually the name component might already be one that might be editor only. It's already marked editor. That is already marked editor only. But let's mark the attribute as editor only. Well, that doesn't work. I need to move it here. And then let's see if that generated it. Name component inspector. Inspector, no, sorry. Here. No. Here. Editor only. Okay. Actually, the comment should probably be inside. So that one should be inside the using. Yeah. Actually, and I don't want to indent here. So actually I need the no indent thing. Because I don't want this to go depth lower. So I guess, how would I do that? Can I maybe? Actually, I think I know what I will do. I return here and I disposable. Right. And then I add another one. So this is code scope. So that would be that. Wait. Oh yeah, and then I'm stupid. Um, Maybe code scope no intent or something like that. But why is it even a scope then? Hold on. Oh yeah, because I want to have a end and exit thing. There's probably a better name for that. I'm wondering as well, is there maybe something that I could do? Maybe we do that. Oh, okay. Maybe action is fine. I make this way simpler. Wait, why is that indented here? Oh, because I did the stupid thing with you should be there. And you all should be there. Okay. I think that's fine. This one as well basically goes away then. And what the scope would do is new scope. Is that, how does that work in C# again? I'm actually not sure. Parameter A. But do I need an A? I forgot. I don't know really how that works. So probably I have to Google it. C# action as argument. Is it just that I do? No, but that is not it, right? Ah, it's just empty parameters. Yes. Yes. And then here scope plus plus. Oh. Perfect. Now we do basically the same here. So here append scope name. Why would... Oh yeah, and then append that. Then scope plus plus, of course. And then scope minus minus, and then append this. And that's already way cleaner. And I think that should all still work. Ish. Why is there another scope name here that does exactly the same? Oh, because it's enter function. Ah, it's just that. But why? Oh wait, enter scope was intended to enter with the curly brackets, right? It was that. Plus here append that at the end. Then enter function is basically that, but with those ones. Where? No, with those ones. But why is it then? Why did I do that? Enter function. I think it was just for sake of clarity. So that I could call enter function or enter multi-function, like multi-line function. Call. Oh, that's a function call. Okay. But do I really need that? Probably not. Let's remove it. And then maybe I don't need that then. Guess we could have string scope begin. Then this is basically the scope end. That is the scope begin. Then I don't think I need that, because I can do that with this one. I think. And then enter, like, yeah, enter preprocessor scope. Let's do that maybe. And then this would be that with skip event force, true. Then we don't have a scope begin because we don't need that. We don't have a scope increment. We actually have nothing here, so basically it's empty. So that would be that, and then we can have that as a conditioner as well. Well, actually, could that not be... the processor check? I don't know. Let's do that and then have here. Let's actually add here the append. Like that. Maybe if... But only if... Maybe only if we have a scope. Like only if that's not null or empty. Null or white space, I think, right? So if that is null or white space, then we just do an empty one. That is basically our conditioner now. No, we don't need that. Enter scope, no braces. That was just an indent without anything. Why did I have that? Where did I use that? Ah, here. Just. Maybe just enter, or just indent. Where we just do that first. this on exit. Enter class. Yeah, that was just a helper, right? So let's still do it. I mean, I guess we could call that return enter scope. And then this and this. Enter scope gone. I mean, that if that works, that would be quite clean now. I might have killed a lot of cases where that fails now. Enter scope. Indent. Yeah, I was just, I think, for enter scope, and we do our pre-processor editor. Enter preprocessor scope. Oh, well, I mean, if that works, that would be amazing. Enter scope. Probably in the other code generator as well, a couple of errors, yeah. How did I want to do that? Probably enter scope. Ah, yeah, with this and that. Probably. Enter scope. What is... Oh, that's an empty scope. And I guess we can support that. Just by doing that. Well, yeah, it's not, but it kinda is. I mean, I can rename it again if you want to. Okay, enter multi-line core. Multi-line function core. Just for you. String function, and then that's about it. And then we append that, and the scope begin, which is, well, actually I can just return enter scope, right? And I just nested here function, and then that would be, why did I write void I disposable? Can you tell me that? Are you happy now? Well, no, there wasn't it? Okay, that was not an error. Is that not an error up here? Deleted. Okay. Ah, that's a Git thing. Oh, I see. Okay. What the fuck? Jackie. So did that generate? Kinda. That's wrong. Why is that here? That's the preprocessor one, right? Why would that be the case, Mr. Preprocessor? Code generator. Because I'm stupid, that's why. Beautiful. Did the other stuff still generate normally? That looks fine. And then let's go to the component inspector. Looks fine as well. So I think if I build that, it should still hopefully build without any problems. Oh, that's way nicer, the scope now. How it's handled in C Sharp. That's actually way cleaner. Because with that, now you can actually do quite a lot. Because I can just way simpler handle the scope indentation. Because it would just read like the preprocessor is now just that, and I don't need to fiddle around with the scope stuff and thing like that. And that one is really simple now. Perfect. In that case, I think this could even be a private one, right? Because I don't think that is actually outside visible, yeah. Because you just get a disposable. Cool. Very, very nice. I think... Is that everything? I have my list of to-dos on Linux, of course. And we are not done for sure, but we might be done on Windows. We might be done on Windows. So we have the asset generator that works. So with that we should be able to restore all the asset loading. Well, and we should be able to move all the components to the code generator. Yeah. Maybe I will do a quick 5-10 minute break and we will switch to Linux. Because there I have the component stuff. We see what else we need to fix, because I don't think I need to do a whole lot of debugging in C# anymore, hopefully. So either I do that or let me think. What else? I don't have the list here, unfortunately. Well, actually, while I'm at it... Yeah, I could maybe. Let me think. There was one more thing I wanted to look at for 05 for sure. And while I'm here, I might as well do it now. Well, let's actually first submit the various things. So let's open this one, I think. Yeah, this is fine. This is fine. Yeah, that's this. Don't submit that. Yeah, I think all of that is fine. Yeah, except for that one. Added logic to generate component members for asset handles or any templated type. Template type maybe. Or any type, well, let's be that, or any type containing template parameters. Ish. Something like that. Oops, I need to stage, of course. Quick check, but I think it's fine. Well, and refactored code scope. Cool. And then we push. I could push, of course, over the command line, but where is the fun in that? Alright, so that's there, and then let's swap back to this one. And we have Onyx here. What do I change here? That one is for sure a must. Wait, did I not? Oh wait, is that even... That might be empty. Yeah, that's empty. So let's discard that. Okay. So it's that. This is... yeah. Kinda correct, kinda wrong. I like that it just underlines this even though it's fine. Okay. I did write that, okay. I mean, I guess that's fine-ish. Oh, I did that, yeah. That one can be discarded. It was just testing. That one definitely should go in. That's a bug that we need to fix. I mean, actually stage that and submit that as one thing. Fixed name for transform rotor and all right. That is the frame graph stuff. Yeah, all of that is fine. Stage. Well, actually, maybe not stages one. Never mind. Let's submit one at a time. So this one is fixing CMake. And this is asset stuff. And this is render graph stuff. So let's stage that first. Fixed issue with render graph shaders being loaded mid-frame. And then this is basically just adding serializer for the asset handle. Yeah. And then, yeah. Technically, I didn't really mark it as to be removed, but whatever. Cool. So what did I want to do? Why is that here? Did I not delete you? Okay, whatever. So the last thing for today before I leave for dinner, there was something popping in my mind that I wanted to do. I think it was something with the window, because currently the window starts like that, like small. Well, I need to generate now because of CMake stuff. Let me turn on actually the light. All right. Yeah. So I think the window handling currently is not perfect. And that was something I wanted to fix as well. I think it was on the list of 05 stuff. Because that's kinda ugly right now. Yes, please stop. Thank you. So I think currently in platform system, I am creating a new window by default, which is probably not how it should be. And it definitely shouldn't be like that. So I think what I would want to do is add a new signal here. Is a platform context? Which one does have the signal here? This basically, yeah. Well, we need only one. Or we need two probably. Do I need two or do I need one? Window. New window signal? Window created maybe, yeah. And I think we give it a const ref. So maybe it should be a ref. I'm not sure yet. And then window. And that one we give it as well. And then this is basically this. And then here we have void. Actually, I would want to have this. Maybe simpler, but let's see. Actually, I might add that now as a test case. So not platform context, but I will still go there. Yeah, let's go here. And then sync that. Basically, I want this, I think. Maybe I do that as a helper somehow, although I don't think I can, but whatever. And we get the candidate. Basically, this is window create that signal. Do I need that actually? Hold on. Do I need the sync here? Oh yeah, I think I do, right? Because I don't have... Yeah, it's fine. On window... Destroy. And then I think I want to have as well avoid disconnect signals where we get a type. And that is basically window created. Wait, do I need to create another sync for that? Well, that sucks. That maybe not the nicest. I wonder if I could do that better. Disconnect if. Nah, whatever. It's fine, I guess. Disconnect. Okay. So that would be the idea. And then here we create the new window. You're going to update your Windows 10? Oh god, I wouldn't do that. I would not do that. Okay. So that would be the idea. And then I think I want to get rid of that. Oh, okay. But no, I mean Windows 10 is fine, don't worry. Windows 11 is just pain. And I think it's Windows 11 again that's broken currently, right? Cannot shut down. I think currently the latest update. Yeah, I think it's this one. They cannot shut down anymore. Yeah, 1 day ago. So the latest Windows 11 update, you cannot shut down your PC anymore. I mean, you can, but you need to basically pull it from the plug, I think. But only some. Mine doesn't have that issue, but some do. Well, or you hold the shutdown key, shutdown button right for. That's a good question, actually. Maybe that works. I didn't read it completely. I didn't read it. I just read like the headline today, this morning, while waking up, that you cannot. It blocks, like it doesn't work to hibernate or shut down currently, in the latest update. For whatever reason. But I mean, yeah, bugs happen, but it's just funny. It's funny. I'm not even sure if it's... I mean, I did enough stupid bugs as well, so... Probably not AI related, don't worry. Don't need the tinfoil hats yet. Graphics system. So the idea then would be that we have here on the graphics system platform system on window create and we probably want on window destroy as well. And then here at the end disconnect signals this. Do I need to actually do that? Okay, yeah. Then we have two private functions here. On window create. Yeah, that's the unfortunate part here, I guess, that we would need to have that suddenly here. What would I actually need? I guess I would need to add this basically on window create. Can't I? Well, I guess not. I guess, maybe. Hold on. Can I struct? Oh, well, no. It's an alias, right? Oh, that sucks. I mean, I guess I can import, but do I really want to? Maybe it was already there. I doubt it was, but whatever. Oh no, it is a const draft. That's good, maybe. Okay. And then on window create, we basically do that. For now. Add support from markable windows. Which would basically mean we need to... I mean, I guess I would go down there as well. Only if this... Actually, the depth buffer should probably move out of the... Yeah, actually, let's do that. To do remove depth images from graphics system, move into render graph, because they should be based on the render graph. If my render graph doesn't have a depth texture, then why would I create depth textures, right? And probably the same with the view buffer. Although that one is a little bit more common. Oh well, and the destroy we don't do anything for now. To do for multiple windows, we need to destroy. Oh. So that would be the plan basically, and that we will add probably maybe in 06. Let's see. Oh yeah, and then imgui of course doesn't work as well. Because I think we have the main window here or not. Why did it die? You need render buffers. Oh, is this... No, I'm actually not quite sure why that would fail. Oh, I know why it fails. Never mind. Okay. Then we need to change that flow, which is fine. Why is... Am I stupid? Is that wrong? Aha, that whole function is indented wrong. Cool. Why? Settings. Okay. I guess. I mean, then we kind of have to do a little more here. Not really what I wanted, but it's fine. Might as well do it now. We basically kill that. Why does that have an instance and the window here? Oh. I see. Okay. That's probably wrong. And I can change that. Is that the only reason why the window was there? Cool. 32 surface something. This one? Or no? So that one is definitely something we need to do before submitting, otherwise Linux will not work anymore. But that's fine. Okay, so that is that dependency gone. All right. I think we could do that, right? While I'm at it, why not? What is that? Probably 0. Something along those lines, because I think we set that anyways later, yeah. Okay, whatever. I didn't want to do that actually, I just saw that. So we go here, we go here. Did I not already save that? Okay, I guess I didn't. Okay, so this one gone. Okay, and then this goes into a different one. Right, swap chain, maybe? For a window. For a window. That should probably be fine, right? We probably want to have that private. ChatGPT is your bro? Oh no. Why? We definitely want to move that down there. So that is the surface and then the swap chain as well, right? But let's see. The swap chain, where is it? Here. And then I'm not sure what we would need per swap chain, to be honest, but we definitely need to move other stuff as well. But yeah, the swap chain needs the surface, I think, right? And the window. But that's fine. I guess we can give it the window here. And I think the rest is fine. Maybe graphics API as well. I think maybe I can remove the window from here then. I'm not sure. Let's see. That would be nice. But that might fail now in a bunch of places, but maybe not. Engine name, engine version, API version, okay. I would want to be able to forward declare that potentially, but let's see. Flags. Okay, it wants to be those ones before. PP allocation info. Oh wait, flags is after the P next, okay. Annoying, but that's fine. Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, it's fine, I guess. So it's layer count. Okay, let's see. Flags, app info, enable layer count, enable layer names. Oh wait, enable layer names is that one. Yeah, maybe. Okay, and then swap chain doesn't take 0, so basically we get a window here. Okay. Well, I think actually the init is private. To be honest, I think it's here. Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm not an AI hater. It's yeah, I just think people just trust it too much, especially it's a problem if you don't know, if you cannot judge what it tells you is right or wrong. So I think using it, for example, for coding is fine if you understand the code that it returns you, right? And you can evaluate if it's correct or not in like at least some sense, right? You don't need to be 100% correct, but just taking it and not taking it for granted and not questioning it is probably not the way to go. Why do I need the window again? Just for the minimized? No, for more stuff. Yeah. Okay. So I guess what we will do is we store the window here. We actually do that. We get here window. Is that correct? Where did it? Yeah, put it for the device. Okay. Okay. Cool. I mean, do I even need that? Hold on. Do I? Maybe I don't. Maybe I just give a bool. Is vsync enabled and the other thing is the frame size, the extents. And then can I wait? Can I have the settings here? No, right? I mean, it's fine. I think we can store in here for now. And the extents are here as well. Perfect. Cool. Because I think with that we can get rid of that. And then here that is well, that is basically gone. is this. And then this would be basically our extent. And we kinda update that here. Okay, perfect. So I think with that, that should be fine. Now we just need to, where we call the swap chain create, of course, we need to change that. Then we don't have any window dependency anymore, right? Yeah. Which is kind of nice. So here that would be that, and window is vsync enabled, and window get frame buffer size. That worked. That's new. And then application. At the end here. So that should hopefully, while it doesn't, of course. Well, I guess we don't get here, right? Yeah. Why? Modules in it. Graphic system. Ah, the physical device needs the surface. Why does it need the surface? Ah, okay. What for? Okay. I mean, I guess we can probably delay that. Why did I not mark any of those as... And maybe we put that into the public space here. Where is that even then used? Oh, here, get graphics queue index. Okay, I think that is a little more work than I thought. Because while I can take away that part, the graphics, all the queue stuff would now not work probably. Okay, it's maybe not that straightforward as I thought it would be. Because I think that will probably fail. Okay, so that's in swap chain, that's fine. Ah, yeah, but the command buffer manager, exactly. That's interesting, I guess. But okay, so that one probably we need to then delay until we find that. The swap chain is anyways fine. Get graphics queue index. Is it really this or what? Yeah, I guess. Yeah, unfortunate, I guess. Why is that based on the surface? That's sad, I guess, but whatever. I mean, it kind of makes sense, I guess. Kind of makes sense. But I think it's not as easy as create a window. I think it's not as easy as just doing here physical. Well, we would need to create the swap chain here. Exactly, and then here physical device retrieve Q family indices with the surface. But then we would need to as well probably move the command buffer stuff. And at that point, I'm not sure if I need to move more. We definitely need to move those. Not sure if that's good enough. Probably not. In device. Really? God damn it, what did I do here? So we get the Q family indices, which of course doesn't exist. How do you do a multi-window then in this case, if all of that is depending on the surface already? Alright, I think I have to look that up. Because that's bizarre. There should be a way to do that without the surface, right? Or do I always need one? Yeah, all of those are -1, so... Oh well. I see. Or is it just me because I want to cache that stuff? Maybe it's me because I want to cache that stuff. Which is the mistake. I think that's the problem. Probably. So maybe if it's depending on... Maybe I store that in the surface then, if it's depending on the surface anyways. Like the graphics compute transfer and present queue based on the surface. Something along those lines maybe, yeah. Let's see. I will think about that. But I will get something to eat now. I'm super hungry. When's Onyx done? Good question. 2030. Probably not. I guess reality it will be never done. When is it usable? For like people that maybe are not that keen in coding or like in general for a game. I'd hope it would be usable with probably 07, something along those lines. Wait, let me open the roadmap. Doesn't have timers, but whatever. So we are here. We are still on track for that. Well, early January, maybe not anymore, but it's fine. It should be early 2026 January, maybe. Would be better. Anyways, it will be January. And then this one is kinda needed. Physics and, well, the editor debug improvements, not so much, but physics. And somewhere in between here, I would say I want to get it in a state where people without too much knowledge about coding can use it to create a game. Is it done then? No, because we don't have animation, we don't have audio. But I think if you... For a simple 2D game, I think it would be usable here because 2D animations with like sprites is not too complicated to add yourself. This is a little bit more advanced like 3D stuff, right? So yeah, let's say, when is it ready? Or well, when it's done, never. When is it ready to be used? I'd say hopefully mid of this year. Would be a I wouldn't say safe one, but it would be a an estimate that still gives me a little bit of wiggle room. It should be earlier than that because I hope that physics and this doesn't take too long. But you never know. I thought that this one was as well simpler, but then Linux kinda showed me some stuff that I was doing wrong, which is fine. It's all good. The engine evolved quite a lot for the better. And it still does. Because the more you write code and the more you see like how more complicated systems would work, yeah, the more it then suddenly starts to fall apart a little bit, I would say. Then I need to fix stuff and so forth. Yeah, I think this is a problem. I think this should not be here. Why is that even here? Do I even use that? Get graphics queue. Okay, I do use it, but it's probably anyways not correct. Okay, I will think about that in like a moment of peace or whatever, how you say it, I don't know. But yeah, basically that would have been the idea, that we split off the window creation, which kind of already works, but we have like some stuff that assumes things are already there, which they aren't, which is problematic. Those are there, and then wait, create queues. Wait, that's in the device. Okay, I definitely need to look at that, how other engines, let's say, do that. Maybe I just treat it in a way that we always have at least a main window, because without the main window we don't function anyways. And then the other windows would be just swap chains, I guess. I don't know. I will think about that. Alright. Thank you very much. Today is my... well, tomorrow is my day off, so we will be not streaming tomorrow. But yeah, we will be probably back on Tuesday. Latest Wednesday. Usually like Monday, Tuesday are like the days where it's like not so sure if I stream. But latest I will be back on Wednesday. Thank you. What's up? You yourself take care as well and have a good night's sleep, I guess, soon. I say that and you're probably still awake for a couple more hours, but it should be, well, it's maybe not that late, but it's already past dinner time, I assume. Anyways, thank you very much for joining as usual. Should we raid someone? Usually at this time on a Sunday there is not really a lot of people here, but let's see. Maybe there is one that we can raid. I mean, said just open the stream. What is he up to? Nah, that sounds not so interesting. Some web dev. Don't want to put you onto a web dev stream. No, there's not really anyone currently that's looking too hot to look at. I mean, they're always nice, but I don't want to look at web dev, to be honest. So yeah, have a nice day. See you on Tuesday. Bye bye. Have a great start into the week.